Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is You Had Me at Hey, and this is chapter 7. This one's titled Make It Whistle Like a Missile. True hero stands up for what they believe, she sang with a smile directed at you. So wait and see. She stopped playing, and you stood up and gave her a one-person standing ovation. It's not that good, she whispered bashfully as her head hung. Objection, Your Honour, you yelled into the intercom, your lips pressed up against the mic so the sound distorted, and Jirou giggled. Can you stop? She chuckled embarrassedly. Nope, you replied, doing your best imitation of the voice from the grandma from Moana. Jirou giggled again. Okay, Yin, it's your turn, she said as she walked towards the sound door and opened it, holding the bass guitar out as she stepped through the door. What am I going to play, though? You asked, getting up from your seat. Use your quirk, she said with a shrug. I haven't heard you use your quirk yet, she said as she walked over and placed the neck of the guitar into your outstretched hand. Okay, you said with an embarrassed blush. What if my quirk song is crap, though? No such thing, she said bluntly, as she walked past you and sat down in your seat, doing a spin in it for good measure. Impress me, she said, with half-lidded suggestive eyes and a smirk, as she kicked the chair to spin it around. The chair spun back around to face you, and she casually leaned down on the armrest and kicked one leg up and over the other, her steadfast gaze rendering you speechless. Oh, holy hell, she's hot, you thought as you swallowed thickly, your heart starting to throw Detroit smashes against your ribcage. Go, she commanded lowly, and you almost got on bended knee and confessed your undying love for this quietly dominating queen. Roger, you replied stupidly, giving her a sharp salute as you spun around and headed into the sound room. You don't need to touch anything on the panel board, you said into the mic when you saw her looking at all the buttons and sliders. I've already set it up. Thanks, she said with a smile as she pressed the intercom button. You took a deep breath in and focused, pulling forth the emotions that you felt when you were with Jirou, and activated your quirk as your fingers neared the bass guitar strings. Jirou's eyes widened as you started to play. It was a sick beat, and she tapped her foot along to it as you played. This really resonates with my soul, she thought as she watched you through the window. You tried not to let the nerves get the better of you, but every time you hit a wrong note, you'd stress, and that would cause you to hit another wrong note, and it was just downhill from there. Ah! You exclaimed in annoyance as you deactivated your quirk after 2 minutes of playing. That friggin' sucked, you grumbled angrily, annoyed that you hadn't been able to play the most perfect piece in front of your crush. Oh, who are you kidding? It was definitely a crush. You knew it. Your little gay heart knew it. The bloody waitress at the shop knew it. Everyone except Jirou knew it. You sighed. Why'd you stop? Jirou asked innocently into the intercom. Because it was the worst piece ever, you shot back indignantly. No, she replied with a confused knitted eyebrows. What the hell are you on about? That was dope. That stuff hit different than anything I've ever heard before. Really? You asked with pleading in your voice. You so desperately wanted her to feel everything you felt towards her without coming on too strong. You still didn't know how she felt about you yet. What did you think about to get the vibe? She asked, her finger still on the intercom button. Just stuff, you replied vaguely. Things that make me happy? Jirou shrugged and nodded. Okay, sweet. It was awesome. Thanks, he said sadly. I still need to work on myself, though. Yeah, and that's why we're going to be playing on the streets, she said dryly. When? You asked. Soon, she sung in an ominously low tone. You chuckled. Funny, you replied in a dead tone. She chuckled. After mucking around in the recording studio a little longer, your dad appeared. Yin, time to get your homework done, he said sternly as he opened the door. Oh, he paused when he saw that you were with someone. Oh, Dad, this is Jirou, he said, smiling at her. She's helping me refine my quirk a little more. Pleased to meet you, Jirou, your dad said in his pleasant dad voice, but you knew he was more intent on getting you away so that you could focus on your homework. Yin has homework to do, so if you'll excuse us, he said as he waved at you to come. Sorry, Jirou, you sighed as he stood to leave. No, it's fine, she replied with a dismissive hand wave as she stood up as well. I need to get going home too. Okay, he said with a smile. Thanks again for today. Welcome, she replied with a small smile as she tucked her hands into her pockets and walked to the studio door with you. Your dad ushered you both through, and you headed for the stairs as she headed for the door that led to the shop. See you tomorrow? You asked as you looked back at her over your shoulder. Sure, I'll text you, she replied, looking at you with those beautiful eyes and chilled expression. Sweet, Jirou replied with a grin. Laters. Laters, she replied as she headed out. The next day at school, you were zoning out in class, as usual, looking out the window with chin in hand, thinking about Jirou, when you heard a high-pitched explosion. What the heck was that? You thought as you lifted your head off your hand and looked around. The teacher, the one who had failed you, paused momentarily in her lecture and looked at the door, listening intently. But after a moment of silence, she went back to teaching, only to be interrupted again by another explosion, but this time a lower registered pitch, and she closed the book that she was holding and put it down on the desk. "Stay in your seats, please," she instructed the class as she walked to the classroom door and slid it open to have a look out in the hallway. As she slid the door open, another explosion could be heard. That explosion was in a different key, you thought as you watched the teacher standing in the doorway. These explosions are tuned? Another explosion went off, and you cocked your head with confusion. That was middle C, you thought. Then you heard a faint screaming, and the teacher shut the classroom door quickly. "Everyone stand up, please, and make 2 lines. Quickly now," she said in a calm yet authoritative voice that quivered slightly with her rising panic. "What is it, miss?" another student asked. "There appears to be someone discharging their quirk in this building," the teacher said as calmly as she could muster. "Okay, everyone, follow me, please. We need to evacuate. No unnecessary noise as we leave the classroom. You must follow my orders. Understood?" she said sternly. "Yes, miss," everyone chorused as they formed 2 lines and waited. Oh, and there ends Chapter 7. Stay tuned for Chapter 8 coming tomorrow.